Welcome back, Purdia family. Forrest with another video here. So I'm going to go through my payouts with Purdia, right? So I'm trading a small Purdia live account amongst all my other accounts. So kind of as an overview, right now I have my main account and then a bunch of different prop firm accounts, right? So this is one of them. And in this video, I'm going to talk about one of my playbook setups, right? So these are the setups that I look for when I'm trading this account. So whether you're copy trading your accounts, trading them individually, doesn't really matter, right? Whatever your strategy is, this is just some free game for you. This is a setup that I've talked about many times. Okay, so nothing new there, but this is another reason to talk about it again, specifically for my Purdia family. So on the screen right here, I have the 4 payouts that I've taken from Purdia already. Just a little disclaimer, did have some hiccups, like technical hiccups with the system. They've sorted that all out. Totally fine. Okay, I just have to say that as a disclaimer because I like to keep it a buck with you. Purdia is a great firm overall though, right? If you want to get 50% off your account, use code FORCE50, by the way. So a little over $1,000 in payouts you can see here since the 18th. So this account is all trading 1 to 2 M&Q, right? So just taking a few payouts, nothing crazy here. What I really want to focus on in this video is how do you get the payouts, okay? So a lot of you get stuck in the cycle of Simland, okay, where you never actually get to a payout. One of the cool things about a live account is it's just like a personal account, right? The money that you make today, you can pull out tomorrow or today, okay? But, you know, with settlement and all that stuff, it's going to take some time. So let's go over to the chart and we're going to talk about mean reversion setups, okay? So we're going to go ahead to NQ here. I trade NQ mostly, and a mean reversion trade is based off of the concept of sweeps. Okay, so if you just got your brand new shiny Purdia evaluation and you're thinking, okay, how am I gonna get to a live account? Okay, I've got to get past the eval, I've got to do some funded, get to live. Put this in your playbook. I'm gonna give you a free playbook right now on this, okay, lightweight version. But play around, test this, back test it. Back testing, by the way, doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a lightweight back test where you literally just scroll to the left. Super simple. But let's talk about it. Okay, so a mean reversion trade means that we are coming back into the mean of the current session. Okay, so a session is from settlement. We have the session volume profile here right now showing this histogram. So I'll do an Alt V showing a vertical line. But from settlement open to settlement close is really what I think about a session, right? So starting from 6 p.m. all the way to 5 p.m. is a session. There's a few levels that I care about for sweeps. Overnight high, overnight low, previous session high, previous session low. Okay, or you can just say yesterday high and low. And then the last 2 levels are the opening range high and low from 9:30 to 10:30. So I'll write those down. So we got overnight, high, low. We got prior day, high, low, and let's call it the opening range, high, low. OVM PDOR. I'm sure the internet can turn that into some fancy acronym. So what we want to look for in any given day is first a sweep of one of these levels. Once we've swept one of those levels, then we can look to see if there is a trade, and that's key, right? So let's just go back in time and try to find a good example of this, and we want to go to the 15-minute. So I like to use a 15-minute chart for this signal, right? The lowest time frame for a signal, and we can kind of see here how we didn't get this up move today even. Actually, this is a really good example here until we swept these key levels, right? So this was the 515 low here, and then we have the low from Friday down here. So after we cracked these levels, we came through with strength. There was a huge bottom wick here, higher volume. This was overnight, but we can see these bottom wicks coming in, right, with considerable volume. And then we started to do this rounded bottom pattern, came up. And where did we go? The very next level that we swept was this high. Now, this isn't kind of a textbook one, really, but we can see how the same principles apply, right? We sweep these key levels, did that today, come up, and we had a nice overnight long in that case. Let's try and find one in RTH. I actually didn't plan like a trade ahead of this, guys, for this video. I'm going to actually try and find something for you in real time. This is another overnight kind of setup. We can see overnight again, volume coming in on these bottom wicks. 3 a.m. EU open, We did not sweep this low, but we might have on ES. Let's actually go to ES to do this. So another thing that you should be aware of is that I consider ES the leader or the dog and NQ the tail. There is often divergence. I consider divergence a degradation of the session. So if we ever have a heavily diverged day, just keep that in mind. So we can see here that same low front ran this as well. So we're gonna look at Monday the 30th on ES. Okay. Now let's look at the key levels here. And let's actually just go bar replay to this point in time. Okay. 12 in the afternoon on this Monday. If we look at yesterday's, so yesterday's low is right here. We'll do Alt J, Option J. So that was yesterday's low, right? Yesterday's high, Alt J, overnight high right here, and the overnight low, 57.74. Okay, so I'm looking for a sweep of one of these levels. So you can see here, RTH started right around here, so we haven't done anything yet. Let's go ahead and print some candles and see what happens. Once we get through one of these levels, we got through the overnight low. Okay, so now I'm looking for a higher volume bottom wick to form. Got a bottom wick with high volume, take that long, you trade it into the mean. The mean in this case, I consider the POC. I'm a huge auction market trader. So if you're not familiar with the volume profile or the POC in general, it's technically not the mean. It literally isn't the mean of the day, but it's a magnet, right? It's an average price that traders have agreed upon in the auction as important, right? So there's a ton of transactions there. A literal mean needs to be time bound because there are infinite miniature auctions in the market. There are things like VWAP, EMAs, right? So there are tons of actual averages, but the point of control, I also consider an average in a sense. And so we would take a long on the close of this bottom wick. You can see it's with higher volume. I have my volume stacked on the top here, right? And then that would give you a trade with an EV of about 20 points on ES at $50 a point. Not a bad trade. So that's a mean reversion setup that would take. You can see that I had to go pretty far back, and that's because we've been really choppy. Since October started, we've had a ton of chop and really haven't been taking too many trades, quite honestly. That's just a fact. So I had to go back pretty far to find this setup. But the reason that I like this, and this is really important, okay, and you can go find some other ones. It works on the short side as well, right? So you can see another example right here, actually, where we had this high volume bottom wick at the 2:30 candle Friday, okay, swept overnight lows, got a bottom wick, came right up, okay? There's another one right there for you. We have this high as well, right? Relatively higher volume top wick coming back into the low there, okay? Here's another one here, right? You can see last week was much better. Current session, not so much. In terms of the number of times this will appear, not very often. Okay, sometimes you'll have really good weeks. Sometimes you'll have once a week. Sometimes it won't show up at all in the week. And that's fine. As a trader, you want to be particular. You want to be specific. You want to be hands off when the market is telling you that there is nothing to do. And if you're able to do that, you'll be able to make real money. And that's the goal of this video. The amount of money does not matter, guys. Whether it's $500 or $5,000, $30,000, okay? What matters most is getting paid, especially for those of you doing prop firms, right? So I'm excited for all of you who are looking at Purdia as an option, right? I think they're a great option, but you need to have real setups, right? So if you want to be able to get to these payouts, like the ones that I just showed, okay, here, you need to have actual trades. Otherwise, what you'll do is you'll blow up the account. And that's fine if you're a newbie and you're learning, blow-ups happen, but you want to do that as little as possible. So what you can do is go to TradingView. If you're not familiar with TradingView, I'm gonna give you a checklist of things that you need to do. Okay, first and foremost, okay, ask yourself, do you have setups? Okay, mean reversion trades. This mean reversion trade is a setup, and what you want to do is a sweep of key level, and you want a high volume signal candle after the sweep. Trade into the point of control. I have a ton of other videos on volume profile, things like that. Check those out. That'll break this down further. Otherwise, this video will be forever long. But hopefully you found this video useful as a little starter and primer for those of you who are looking into Purdia. I'm gonna keep trading this account. It's nice to get a little payday every other day once in a while. Again, this week has been pretty slow, so nothing crazy here. Just gonna keep building the account. Hopefully we get some volatility. We've got FOMC and CPI in the latter half of this week. So I am expecting some good days coming up. Nonetheless, subscribe to my channel if you want to stay tuned for all things prop firms, as well as just get real trading advice. That's what I'm here for. That's how I pay for all this stuff. YouTube isn't very profitable, believe it or not. See you in the next video. Peace.